And let's give him a really, really big round of applause for going first, because it's not really easy to start it off. Tim is currently a student at the MFA program in nonfiction at Sarah Lawrence College. He resides in Bronx, New York, but his heart is in LA. Tim writes news and reviews for cinemablend.com. Let's give it up for Tim. Yeah.
I was seriously almost late here because I was catching up on Breaking Bad. That's a true story. And that's it. I'm done. So I'm currently working on a book of essays, and what that basically means is catching up on Breaking Bad and watching old YouTube videos of Michael Jordan. Could seriously do that for like hours. But anyway, so I'm gonna read 3 really, really short pieces from this book, it's not really a book yet, that I'm doing because I've been messing around with the short essay a lot lately, and I really like it because it's short. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, alright, so I'm gonna do 3, and here we go. The headset's cord curls down and around and back up, twisting about and connects to a plastic cradle mounted on the wall. When the phone rings, so do 2 others. One in my mom's room and another in the living room. The phone that's ringing is in the kitchen. It's made of plastic and is an off-white color. The ring is generic. After each ring, a soft hum remains until the pounding bells coming from underneath the cold surface of the plastic start back up again. I hear it while watching Saturday morning cartoons, Inspector Gadget. On the television, a man with a gray trench coat and a helicopter in his fedora fumbles around while his young niece Penny and her dog solve the crimes that he thinks he's solving. Penny and the dog will follow Gadget around during this adventure, always one step ahead of him, carefully assuring that he takes the right steps to avoid his demise. I've seen this episode and most every other one as well, but I sit attentively, eating a bowl of corn pops and a piece of toast so buttery there are tiny reservoirs of yellow in the corners of the bread. My mom is vacuuming in the hallway. The heavy machinery she pushes back and forth is loud and nearly drowns out the television. She does this twice a weekend and would do it more if she didn't work. I'll know this in 12 years when I'm 18 and she loses her job and has nothing to do during the day but clean. I contemplate not answering the phone, but the colorful images on the screen are far more interesting. I scoop one more spoonful of pops into my mouth and walk to the kitchen from the living room. When I say hello, there's a silence. I repeat my greeting and it's interrupted by a tinny pre-recorded message. It's a woman's voice. This is a call from the Los Angeles County State Correctional Facility. We have a call for you from... There's another small pause and the voice changes. Louis Gomez. His voice is small and full of static. It's Dad. I take the phone away from my ear before the message can finish, and I call my mom over. I call her softly at first, and when she doesn't hear me, I call louder, then even louder. She finally shuts off the vacuum and comes over. The wrinkles above her eyes from years of frowning are deep but wonderful. She sees the phone in my hand. Who is it? I tell her I don't know. I do this to let her believe that she's still tricking me when she says Dad is staying with a friend. I hand the phone over and watch her as she stretches the cord as far as it will go, the curls unwinding and making waves in the wire. She hides out inside the kitchen and I go back to the television. My stomach grumbles, but I think it's because I'm still hungry. This is the second one. On her side, the ground is white and freezing, and on my side, the moonlight finds its way through beige hanging blinds and creates 7 rectangles of light on the carpet beside my bed. It's cool and calm. When I talk to her, I create a pouch under my bed covers to retreat from the rest of the apartment. This is a mutual space for us. I balance the cell phone on my right cheek. According to an online mapping system, she's exactly 2,671 miles away from me. That's 1 day and 18 hours straight in a car, 35 days and 18 hours if I were to walk. Talking means catching up, reviewing the day, doing everything we can to feel as though we've been right next to each other for the last 2 months. I tell her about class, my new contemporary poetry professor, this middle-aged hippie lady, tall and lanky with a great taste in words. She tells me about how much she hates the snow. It's 12 a.m. her time, 9 p.m. mine, and her voice is still getting slurry. My night of studying has just begun. Outside my window, the pool that sits in the middle of my apartment complex is in plain view. Lights from deep inside the water illuminate the concrete and turn the pool into one big lamp, showing the dirt that's settled at the top of the chlorine-free liquid. There are still things from just before the sunset, or there are still rings from just before the sunset when 2 ducks flew in from a nearby park and found refuge in the patronless pool. One stood tall and proud, the other sat low and comfortable. They show up every couple of weeks and leave separately before the sun calls it a day. On the phone, she tells me that I can make her brain quiet. She got this line from a book we both liked, and she often says it just before she falls asleep, as I talk and she fades away. These are things I think I know. The tiny mole on the tip of her nose is cute, and anytime I have to leave her, I tap it lightly with my index finger. She has another, bigger one, about the size of my pinky fingernail, just below and to the right of her belly button, and it bugs her when I pick at it, but I can't help myself. She hates the mole on some days, but fears the loss of it and has nightmares about it. Her face is round and her hair, which used to be long and sometimes curly, is short now and frames her face, rounding underneath her chin just above her neck. She has skinny fingers and skinny toes, and because of this, they're constantly cold. Her hips are wide and support her otherwise small body frame. She used to dance, pirouettes and such, and still does sometimes. And if she's not taller than me, then she's the exact same age, forcing her to wear flats instead of heels on the nights when we get to be together, and we get to dress up, and we get to have a night out. When we hug, I wrap my arms around her waist, and she wraps hers around my neck. I kiss the space between her left eye and her nose, only closing my eyes a little bit, trying to see if she closes her eyes when I kiss her. These are things I know I know. Her voice is a higher pitch when she's tired, and she talks through deep breaths, sometimes hardly audible. She falls asleep on the phone, usually at around 9:36 Pacific Standard Time, and I can tell this when I hear a light thump on the line followed by heavy breathing. I stay on the line sometimes for 10 or 15 minutes, listening to these breaths, making sure she's asleep and comfortable and unworried. Telling her things I'm not ready to tell her when she's awake. I think I know, I think I know, I think I know, I know I know. Tonight her breaths are humming to 3/4 time, and in my head I hum a melody to a song I'll later write on my guitar but never finish. Tonight these breaths will sing me to sleep, softly and comfortably, and I'll leave an open document on my computer blank and free of words. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night with my light on and a dead phone, still wearing jeans and a button-up shirt. The late fall is breathing down on my limbs and muscles, and although the weather rarely gets below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I can still feel the cold deep inside my joints. And I have one more short one. This one was written way after that last one, you'll notice.
Oh boy.
On one day, it was the sounds outside my window. Old Italian men, pants strapped high and shirts unbuttoned at the top, bickering over tax breaks, trash trucks tumbling by, smashing into the bags from apartments down the street, making room for things I threw out. The Mexican boys who work at the pizzeria below me getting out of work, laughing, walking away from each other, slapping five and speaking Spanish. I don't close the window. The air keeps me cool. On another day, it's the light on my alarm clock that, even through a thick cotton comforter, I can see clearly. It pierces my retina, finds its way to the back of my skull and haunts me from there, hiding out and popping up, a little red thing. Some days it's the dog. She twists and turns, digs into the bed, and finds a place she's comfortable in for only an hour or two. Then she stands up, shakes off, and repeats the process. She would dig herself between us most nights, burrow down under the covers and lodge herself between our legs, keeping us slightly separated just enough to keep herself warm for a full night's sleep. We'd laugh in the mornings when we found her. Last night, though, it was me inside your house, and everyone was there. You left me in the morning, and I was half asleep. When I woke, your family found me, and your dad looked at me, eyes tired but sympathetic, saying without words, "I know, son, I know," or even, "This is what I wanted, but not." He hugged me this time. He didn't shake hands, didn't nod his head. And your mother, words dipped deep inside her accent, asked what it was I thought you did. I said you lied, that you were off again exploring. She embraced me tightly, told me things that you didn't. And your sister snickered at my accusing words, asked or told me, "You really think that's all?" I was half asleep and half something else. When I came to, the dog was quiet in her little bed, set on the corner of my bed, far away from the side of the bed that I sleep on now. Thank you.